You know, since the year began, some people have been saying no grief for anybody, no grief for anybody. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? What's your take? That's what I want to consider in this video. Now, no grief for anybody. Should you use it every time? I think it depends on the circumstance. My own understanding of it is this: there are two sides to it. Number one is the good side, number two is the bad side. For instance, if I ask you, can we go to Ikoyi tomorrow? Somebody is there to give us $1 million or 1 million naira. Will you tell me you will not grieve for anybody? Won't you follow me? We'll go together and we'll go and collect the money, isn't it? That's one. If you are a student and your lecturer tells you there will be tests by 10 p.m. on Wednesday, by 10 a.m. on Wednesday, if you don't attend the test, you will fail my class. Will you tell your lecturer no grief for anybody? If your daddy tells you to do something, are you bold enough to tell your daddy no grief for anybody, or I no grief for anybody? You will collect one slap. But anyway, this is what I want to talk about. Let me start with the good side of no grief for anybody. I believe it's in the Bible, because in Proverbs chapter 1 verse 10, we are advised, my son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. In other words, if sinners tell you to do bad things, don't agree. That means no grief for anybody. Now, to the extent that you are disagreeing with evil things, bad people, bad situations, I agree it is okay to say no grief for anybody. For instance, as a youth, you are told, you are pressured by your friend to do drugs or to do illegal things. You are free to tell them, I no grief for anybody, I no grief with you for that one. It is allowed. No grief for anybody is good to the extent that you use it to reject evil. Because as the Bible says, if sinners entice you, do not consent. For instance, you are a teenager, somebody is pressuring you for sex, and you are not ready because you are not married. It's okay to say, I no agree with you, I no agree with anybody for that matter, including you. So if people want you to do anything bad, you are free to tell them, I no agree for you. You are also free to advise anybody, no agree for anybody when want to make you do bad things with them. I believe to that extent, no grief for anybody is good. But on the other hand, I believe that no grief for anybody could also be negative. For instance, you are disobedient, recalcitrant, disrespectful to constituted authorities in the name of no grief for anybody. That is not allowed. So if you say no grief for anybody to bad things, it is good. But if you say no grief for anybody for good things, I think you are missing the point. So next time you say no grief for anybody, ask yourself, are you using it in a good sense or in a bad sense? Because either way, you face the reward or the consequence. No grief for anybody. Thank you.